What I'm standing on here is called a standing seam roof, and this is one of the options for this type of roof. In this project, we decided to go with the standing seam roof because architecturally it made the most sense, and we're 3 blocks from the beach, and this is going to be a long-lasting roof that's going to have very little complications. Secondly, we're fairly close to the Santa Cruz Mountains, and these mountains occasionally light on fire. And if we get a fire in this area and we get embers, they're going to land on this roof and they're not going to cause a fire. So this is really a fire-safe roof, and that's super important in California, especially these days in climate change. So we had lots of different options in this project. We could put a dimensional composite, also called an asphalt shingle. And there's lots of different styles of asphalt shingles, but really there's 3 main types. There's a single layer, which is called 3-tab. There's a double layer, which is typically called medium class, and then there's a top layer, and there's a 3-level. Interestingly, they used to be called the 20, 30, and 40 year, and then they became the 30, 40, and 50 year, and then they all suddenly became lifetime warranty shingles. They're really not lifetime warranty. They typically last for 15 to 25 to 30 or 35 years. Whereas this roof will last for well over 50 years because it's metal with a very durable finish on it. So why did we not choose a dimensional composition shingle roof on this? Well, firstly, I'm standing on a 1-in-12 roof, whereas the rest of the house is a 5-in-12, meaning for every 12 inches of horizontal travel, we get 5 inches of vertical travel. So that's a slope. A 1-in-12 is a very low slope roof. And the problem with dimensional composition shingles is they're not really waterproof. The material underneath the shingles is waterproof, and that's intended to get the water off of the roof. With a standing seam roof, we actually have a waterproof finish. So we couldn't use dimensional composition shingles. The minimum level or slope that you can use a dimensional composition shingle is about a 3-in-12, which means that we would have had to either put a roll roofing material, which is 3-foot asphalt rolls that are glued down to the roof, or we would have had to have put a membrane. Now, this roof was about $24,000. If we were to put a dimensional composition shingle roof on this whole house, it would have been about $10,000. But the membrane here would have added another $5,000 or $6,000. So this roofing is about $8,000 more than dimensional composition shingle and a membrane roof, but it'll last a lot longer. Additionally, this roof in this big slope is actually aimed south, and it's specifically designed to catch our PV system. So our PV system will be on top of this roof, and it was easy to clamp the PV system down onto these ribs of the roof and really secure the PV system to this roof. And because we have a big south-facing section of this roof, we're gonna get a lot of PV exposure. Additionally, this roof can handle walking on better than a dimensional comp shingle. Now, you really don't wanna walk on your roofing, but our shoes, as long as we don't have rocks in them, are not going to scratch or damage this roof. Every time you walk on a dimensional composition shingle, you're pulling off some of those granules, those rocks. And that rock is actually there to protect the underlying asphalt from the sun. What's not well known is that the sun will actually oxidize the asphalt in those shingles and start to decay them and rot them faster than if you didn't ever walk on them. So those rocks, as funny as it is, they actually protect the shingle from the sun. So what we're really talking about now is a roof that can withstand more damage, can withstand the salt air better, and will last a lot longer for incrementally more money. Now, that's also true, the difference between the 20-year, the 30-year, and the 40-year, or 1-layer, 2-layer, and 3-layer asphalt shingles, is 1 layer is only 1 layer thick. The 2-layer and the 3-layer are obviously 2 times and 3 times thicker. But interestingly, the material itself is only slightly more expensive, and the labor is the same amount. So really, it never makes sense, if you're going to stay in the house for a long period of time, to go with a thinner shingle. You should pay a little bit more and get a much thicker shingle if you're going to use asphalt shingles. Now, we also had the option of things like clay tile or concrete tile here, but again, those materials can't handle this low slope roof. So we would have had to have put a membrane here. And then if we wanted the whole roof to make sense and look the same, we would have had to have put shingles over the top of the membrane. So this is by far the cheapest and longest lasting, for how long it's going to last, roofing option on this house. If you're interested in learning more about durability or roofing material, hit subscribe as we show you how to build a better way.